All right, we back. Part two, baby. Part two, the first two-part live interview ever on Rapzilla in history. We're making history over here, man. Like I
That's what I,
said in the
that's
first
what I like
part.
to do.
Yes, sir. Like we said in the first part, man, we have the man of the hour. Definitely his day in Christian hip hop, and also what many people consider man of the decade, the man of the past, however many years you've been doing it. Been so long, man. The Truth is joining us live on Rapzilla. What's up, Truth?
What's up? What's up?
Good deal, good deal. You ready to go, huh?
I'm ready.
So we were talking a little bit about, just growing and the process and everything, and I kind of want to start by talking about this list of features, man, because this list of features is deep, and it's expansive too. So you got, everyone from, Isaac Curry to James Fortune to Capital Kings, like Lecrae. When you were putting this feature list together, were you just like, man, we're gonna get everybody on this album?
Nah, I don't put feature lists together. I kind of for me, man, it's all about just I think about music kind of like I can't. And I kind of see like when if I get a beat or if I have something in my head, I kind of see it as the canvas. You just kind of let the canvas dictate which direction you go. And so when I'm in the creative process, I don't want people to give me more credit than I deserve. I'm really not that smart. I just I really am a more organic type dude. So I literally only go with what I feel best fits a song. Um, that's how I see it. So I had Cray originally on Gray. Um, but Heartbeat to me was such a better fit, especially for the two of us to get on there. Plus, I saw it as an opportunity for both of us to just kind of put our hearts on the table. There's no better song to allow Craig to say what's been on his heart for the past year than a song like Heartbeat. So when I hear when I'm working on music, man, I'm not like thinking about who's hot. I'm not any of that. I'm thinking about what best fits. And it just so happens that the people that best fit are hot.
Right, right.
Now, I can say that when it came to my crew, I was intentional about that. I wanted to make sure I had each one of the mixed bag family on the record. So I was very intentional in that regard. But as I even as I listened to that press record, you know, I heard that chorus, though he slay me. Now I originally said, though he slay me, I'ma bless the Lord. Though he slay me, I'ma bless the Lord. Though he slay me, and then I was like, though he slay me. It just felt like, it felt reggae-ish, even though,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
was working on it. But I don't have that tone. I don't even try to go that direction. So I was like, yo, it would be perfect for this. And I called up Papa San and I gave him the chorus, and he hit me back. He was like, nah, man. He was like, he's like, nah, man. It's got to be patois. Got to be patois. So he's like, just let me do my thing. Let me do my thing. I was like,
Yo,
all right, cool. And he came back with, though he slay me, me gonna bless him. I was like, woo! So for me, it's just that organic process. That's kind of the way it works with all my features.
that's awesome. Like, can you talk about your relationship with gospel music? Because that's something that's grown over the years, and just your connections with gospel artists, and kind of how you feel you've been influenced by gospel music in general.
Oh, I've been heavily influenced by gospel music. I grew up on gospel music. I grew up on the Winans, Commission,
Come on, come on.
Shirley Caesar, B.J. Thomas. Don't nobody know who that is.
I
but
don't know who that is. You got me on that one. I thought I knew everybody.
but I grew up on all of that. I grew up on. But I mean, I grew up not like it wasn't just in the house. Like I had a palate, an appetite for that. Every Commission album that came out, we bought it. Every Winans record, we bought it. You know what I mean? Like we went to the store ourselves and got those records. So I've always been heavily influenced by gospel, and as a drummer, that's the world that I was always in. You know, I was playing drums for the gospel choirs. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then, you know, 2005, 2006, I started touring with Kirk Franklin, 2007, whatever it was, and Mary Mary, you know, and, you know, that started, and from there started building with Donnie, and, you know, so for me, the gospel community is dear to me. Like even when I went through my hard time, you know, it was that community that was far more comforting than others. You feel me? So, you know, that was the community that, you know, spoke life into me, you know, spoke the life of restoration, you know what I'm saying, into me. Um, that's something that they understand it, you know what I mean? And so, you know, the gospel community is very dear to me, and I love gospel music, you know, so so when you hear those influences of my music, again, I tell people I'm not trying to do anything. Oh, that's what's up. You were smart, man. You know, that's the way to get to the gospel community. I'm not doing it to get to the gospel community. I'm doing it because that's what comes out of me. I wrote that James Fortune song at the end of that Welcome Home. That Jesus, author of salvation, da na 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 na, brought me back to life. He brought me
Yeah,
back to
get us, sing it, sing it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what naturally came out of me. I wasn't trying to do that just so I could get on the Stellar Awards this year. You know what I'm saying? That's what naturally came out. So, yeah, I got gospel in my bones. It's in my DNA. You know what I'm saying? So it's a part of the fabric of who I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, I know there's a lot of people hopping on now. Get your questions in on the YouTube link and also on the Rapzilla story. We're here with The Truth. Got the new album out today. It's called Heartbeat. Where can they get the album, Truth?
iTunes, Amazon. I'm strongly encouraging Christian bookstores, Family, Lifeway, you know, because, you know, it wasn't until this year that I really thought about them as being servants as well. Like they're doing something for the kingdom. You know what I mean? So I strongly recommend that we go to the Christian bookstores to support them. Otherwise, you can, you know, always find it at Best Buy and Walmart and all those good places.
Oh, awesome. Well, we're going to get it in with The Truth. May have some surprises for y'all. Who knows? Who knows? Um, but man, I want to talk about Mixed Bag, and I know that's kind of been, you know, the big topic of conversation when it comes to you now having your own situation, and
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people are going to talk about the balance of being an artist and also head of a label, but you know, what's something that surprised you? What's something that you weren't expecting, or has there been anything that's caught you off guard about the role?
That's a very good question. Nothing has caught me off guard. That's probably because it takes a whole lot to catch me off guard.
Uh-oh.
But
Well, somebody just caught us off guard. Uh-oh. Mixed bag in the
What
building.
up?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What
Teach,
up,
what
CJ Pompeo in the building?
up?
Good.
Teach. So, what up, bro?
Chilling, man. Continue.
Keep going.
Not much has thrown me off guard. You know, the thing I can say is that, you know, mixed bag is it's more pioneering. I mean, we could talk about the CEO versus artist hat and all of that, but before we get there, I feel like I've been pioneering my whole career. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like I'm really just beginning to own it. You know, but I feel like it's pioneering all over again. I think earlier we talked about how, you know, when I first came into this and I was, you know, lyrical. Every song had to, you know, these 65 punchlines and a lot of twists and turns and my rhyme and meter. um, and now things are different. But I think that you know, and again, not that I've forsaken that in any way, but like I said before, I felt like I was pioneering on Moment of Truth and the Faith. Um, with, I guess, setting the bar, setting the precedent as, I guess, East Coast lyricist. I guess some of my subject matter was different at the time, and I'm assuming refreshing. Um, you know, uh, and that was the leadership role that I had at that point. I think now it's like starting all over again. I feel like it's a leadership all over again, but um, but it's in a different capacity. I'm leading people into something different, and that is I'm calling people to open up. Even the
Yeah.
industry. It ain't just I'm not just calling hip hop to open up. I'm calling the industry to open up, to open their minds, to open their hearts, to creativity, to diversity. To expand their minds, their thinking with regards to art. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that part of what it means to be the mixed bag CEO right now, a big part of it is this pioneering element of it. And I think it's so interesting because I think about I listen to a lot of what the mainstream guys who are at the top have to say, and I feel like them in so many ways. Like I feel like I can relate to a Kanye West sometimes, and I feel like I can relate to a Jay sometimes.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is just with regards to like people want them to stay in a certain space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Jay said, you like my old stuff, buy my old albums. Well, he said that for a reason, because people kept pushing him to do Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? Do what you did on Reasonable Doubt. Do what you did on Black Album. Uh-oh. You froze. You back? All right. Whew. I didn't want to lose you again.
I know.
Lost you earlier.
We're holding our breath.
I can't lose you again. But
Oh, man.
But yeah, there's that like sense in which like people want to keep you contained and keep you in a certain space, and so it's like you can't pioneer with ease. It's like you got to fight through it, and so I think that's probably the biggest challenge that being in this role is for me. And beyond that, it's just a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like I got a lot of great artists on the roster. Guys, girls, they all gonna, I believe, going to take the world by storm. But it's a lot of work planning, establishing infrastructure, a solid business plan and model, being strategic, all the stuff that just comes with.
So it's not just prayer and fasting and Bible reading and Bible studies and devotions and worship music. That's not it.
Nah, I was telling somebody, I was in an interview earlier today, and I was telling them, man, I'm in meetings literally some 8 hours minimum.
Wow.
That's the minimum. Sometimes 10 hours a day. Really just building this thing. We've been building for a year, and I marvel at what we've been able to do in a year. This is our first offering. And I marvel at what we've been able to do. And remember, it's not just a label, it's also film and television. Yeah. So we got a couple things that we're juggling right now. So at any rate, the point is, the biggest challenge, I think, is having to gird myself as a pioneer on one hand, and then the other hand, obviously, play the CEO role and transition from a 10-hour meeting to bully, to writing bully.
Right.
That's not an easy, that's not a smooth transition all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's dope. I want to come back to that. Like I really want to come back to that because I think something happens on the album that I want to address in a little bit that I think is really interesting. It's kind of a shift in your mindset. It sounds like, but if you just joining us, we were just talking with The Truth, but his label mate TJ Pompeo just hopped on, just figured he'd crash the party.
Yeah.
So, TJ, tell us, man. Yeah, hey. He's a party crasher, man. TJ, so tell us, man, what was it like getting signed to the label, and how did your relationship with The Truth kind of grow and evolve?
Oh man, it's like a pretty heavy duty story, but like I can condense it as much as possible. Basically, we met when they did the Misfit tour, a couple years ago, and they did like a talent search before each city they went to, and when they came to Virginia Beach, that was the closest one to me at that time, and so I went, I did the talent search, and I won. So I got, the winner got to chill backstage with everybody, and so I chopped it up with all them cats backstage, and it was just really cool. And I actually didn't contact Truth until like a year after that, and I had a song that I really was hoping that he would consider getting on, and so I shot his boss a message at that point, and he told me to forward him the song, so he sent the song to Truth, and Truth liked it, so more or less is how we connected, and I ended up going to Philly for him recording his verse to that song. And then the following week, we realized that we were going to be performing at the Impact Conference in New Orleans together, the same event. And so then when we were down in New Orleans is where I actually ended up being his hype man for his set for the very first time. And just, the chemistry was there instantly. Like we rehearsed for like 20 minutes, and, I knew some of the lyrics. You remember, bro? Like,
I remember.
It was crazy. The chemistry was ridiculous. I remember the very first thing that he said to me when we got off stage, when we were watching Molly's set. He looks at me, he's like, bro, I got to take you on the road with me, man. He's just like, dude, it was magic because it was just sick. It was the chemistry was instant, and it was so cool. So yeah, from there I just hyped him up for a few more shows after that. We did a concert together down in Trinidad. We each had our own set for that. It was cool. But then, more or less, he just started talking to me about the label thing back in January. And yeah, more like a verbal offer at that point. And then, as the year progressed, I officially signed the contract in October. It's like October 11th or something like that, I think, when I signed it. So. Yeah, and it feels great, man. It's definitely a huge blessing, obviously, when you go from independent to just having a team behind you, people who believe in your craft, they believe in your calling, they support you fully in what you've been called to do, and not only financial backing, but spiritual backing, emotional and mental backing as well, and creative backing, which is awesome. And more than anything, I love the fact that I just get to be the artist that I was intended to be. I don't have to conform or fit a mold. Like, I love the mixed bag concept. That's definitely the thing that drew me in. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. In truth, I knowing you and hearing a lot of the artists that you have on your label, you're not looking for cookie cutter, typical type artists. Like, it doesn't seem like you going for the norm. It seems like you're trying to break the mold. So when you see somebody like TJ and a couple of the other people on your label, like, what do you see in the artist? What did you see in him that really attracted you and said, man, I gotta have him a part of my situation?
Yeah. Well, he's a handsome young man.
What the Bible say? Ready? That's what it says.
Nah, for me, like I said, the industry's very polarized. I've been preaching this sermon for the past year. It's very much gospel and CCM. Those are our two categories. And then hip-hop, Christian hip-hop is somewhere on the peripheral. It's gospel and CCM, which is basically white and black. And then there's Stellar Awards, Dove Awards, which is basically white and black. Both of them have their own very, distinct sound. And that's pretty much it. Like, and to me, those are far right and far left, and then there's nothing in the middle. And so what I struggled about 2.5 years ago, I went through like this internal struggle within myself, somewhat of an identity crisis, because I noticed that, I couldn't sit still as an artist. Like, I was not content with, just rapping. Some songs I wanted to sing on, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to rhyme, and I wanted to, kill that, and then I wanted to do a worship song with the T.R.U.T.H band. You know what I'm saying? On Big Picture.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I wanted to rap, but I wanted an open book. I did a Sade feeling song.
Yep.
Da, 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 with Lisa McClendon. You feel me? Now, what possesses a rapper to want to do a Sade? That was my inspiration. I was like, I want that Sade feel. But I wrestled with that, just that thing, that diversity thing in me. But I wrestled because nobody else. The reason it was a struggle was because nobody else around me did that. When you think about Reach Records, it's pretty streamlined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you think about Lamp Mode, it's streamlined. their brand is easily identifiable, sound easily identifiable. You think about Collision, they have a very easily identifiable sound and brand. But when I started taking inventory of myself as an artist, I started feeling like I have no sound and no brand. You feel me? And one day I was really just venting and talking to a close friend of mine and telling him what my challenge was, and he said something that I know God used him, because he said something that was the moment of clarity for me. He said, the fact that you don't like to do any one thing is actually your greatest strength.
Yeah, wow.
And that was the beginning of Mixed Bag 3 years ago. Because from that point forward, after I wrestled a little bit more, finally came to terms with the fact that I am a multi-layered, musically diverse Christian artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hip-hop worship leader. If you ever come to my shows, it's not just hip-hop. Like, I can't just do hip-hop. It's like, I can't just do hip-hop. It's like, it naturally is something else. I don't know what to call it, but it's just naturally something else. And so that burden that I felt within myself, that I finally came to terms with, once I came to terms with that, the fact that I was a diverse artist and that was actually my greatest strength, I then began to survey the land to see who else out there had the same. I didn't even survey the land. I just naturally began to think about all the other artists that were out there that had this same problem that I had.
Yeah.
They were too diverse to fit into anybody's paradigm. You know what I mean? Too diverse for any Christian label to pick them up. Gospel wouldn't know what to do with them because they were to this, and CCM wouldn't know what to do with them because they were to that. Hip hop wouldn't know what to do with them because they were to this. And that's the artist that I said, that's who I want. Because there's the challenge for that artist is there's no place that artist could call home.
Yeah.
An artist like TJ, he's singing, he's going to sing a worship song, he's going to sing a life song, he's going to sing a love song, then he's going to sing a Christian song, then he's going to rap your face off, then he's going to he's going to kill you with the fast thing, and then he's going to do all that in like 10 minutes. Well, there's no place that really houses that type of artist in Christian music. In the mainstream, they get it. You know what I'm saying? Like a Drake, it got a place he can go.
Yeah.
Young Money got it. You know what I mean? They got it early. You know what I'm saying? Where the artist is singing and rapping and doing ballads and, you know what I'm saying, doing turn up and doing it all in one setting. They got it. When Nicki is doing pop records and she rapping her face off and they got it. You know, Kanye did the 808 and up. They got it. You know, about, I'll probably say 8 years ago, they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Christian market, you know, we're behind. And so I really felt like I needed to take it upon myself to establish a home for a collective of artists that shared in their diversity, that, you know, whose common denominator was diversity. So that's how I choose my artists.
Yeah, that seems to be who you are, and again, if a couple of people have asked when can we start asking questions, go ahead and get them in. We're taking note of all the questions that are coming through. Got some really, really good ones we're going to ask here in just a few minutes, but I want to talk a little bit more about the album and that pioneering mindset, because around the middle of the album, it's weird. There's always been polarizing parts of Christian hip hop. There's always been these polarizing parts and different camps, so to speak. And so for fans and for those of us who aren't in the know, who aren't behind the scenes, we leap to conclusions and we read subtweets or whatever it may be, and we just jump to conclusions about everything. But in a couple of your songs, especially Standing Up with TJ, I mean, you just shout out everybody.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you kind of brought all these people together in one place and just said, man, I like what you do, I like what you do, I like what you do, you the big homie, like, yeah. And it was amazing because it was kind of like you were seeing beyond, and I don't know, maybe that's not the case, maybe that was just on your heart, but were you seeing beyond the current, not friction, but the current disagreement and saying, man, I love all y'all cats?
The differences.
Yeah, man. I've been in the thick of the differences.
Absolutely. And that's what was interesting.
Yeah, I know. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years, this is funny, but one of the things that I've really uh, come to um, one of the things, how do you say this? One of the things I think just over the past few years that God has branded on me is really this issue of love. I talked about it on Love, Hope, War a little bit, where love is the principal thing. You know, it's what Jesus says is the distinguishable mark. It
Mhm.
is what distinguishes the Christian from the Muslim, the Christian from the Jehovah's Witness, the Christian, you feel me, uh, from the Hindu or whoever. Uh, it is what sets us apart from the world, the paganistic world, the heathenistic world. It's not so much what we know, though what we know does fuel our behavior. But it's not so much about what we know, as much as it is about how we love. And so I think that I've deemed it very, very important over the past few years to love everyone on purpose. And for me, let me tell you what that doesn't mean. That doesn't mean we won't disagree.
Mhm.
And this is where the challenges are, I think. And even the challenge was in times past for me. There was a time where I wouldn't necessarily work with a producer even who worked on who produced for secular mainstream artists. As you can see, I worked with S1 on this record though. Now, for me, I haven't changed my position. And this is where it all gets, this is where the tension is, I guess.
Mhm.
The tension lies. I haven't changed my position. I feel the way I felt on Price Tag, about the Christian producer assisting, aiding, and abetting in what I consider uh, to be the reason why we have to do what we have to do as
Mhm.
Christian artists.
Right.
Like, I think that the Christian producer who works with the mainstream artist is helping Satan's agenda in some way. That's very harsh. I know it sounds hard. Um, I don't think they're any less Christian. I don't think that like I love them the same now. There's no love lost over this stuff. There's even if it's done in ignorance. It's like the truth of the matter is there's nothing in black and white about these issues in Scripture. I'm drawing for what I believe are Christian principles. So these are my convictions. I don't. This is not law for me, and I don't impose it as law. I will express what I believe to be true, but I will not impose it as law. And neither will I allow for those convictions to hinder us from doing what we can do together for the kingdom. And I think that now, the space that I'm in is we can disagree and still be good. Not like we could disagree and tolerate each other. No, like I can disagree with you, and we can still be homies, brothers, and even work together.
Mhm. Mhm.
um, Unless we're dealing with something fundamental, obviously. If we're talking about the issue of uh, Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, then that's one thing. If we're talking about some Carlton Pearson stuff, then that's something different. But we're talking about gray issues, gray areas, the real gray areas, not like black and white ones that we made gray, but real gray areas.
Yeah.
So I hold the position that I hold. I feel what I feel. I see it the way that I see it, but it's still gray, and I recognize that. And I dare not impose that on my brothers, and I dare not allow that to hinder us. This is the other thing. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. The other thing that I've learned over the years, man, is that I've been in a relationship with the creme de la creme, quote unquote, in gospel music, the biggest names. And one of the things, man, that I found, big name, little name, both big and little name, You know what I mean? Small or great, the way the Bible uses it. Not that anybody's little in my eyes. But one of the things that I found, man, is that even looking at myself, is that we are all on a journey, you know? And it's like this stuff that I believed 5 years ago that I don't believe today. Stuff that I held to 2 years ago that I don't hold to today. You know? Stuff that I did 3 years ago that I wouldn't do today. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, everybody's on that journey. I'm on that journey. Kirk Franklin's on that journey. Lecrae's on that journey. Andy's on that journey. Derek Minor's on that journey. Shaolin is on that journey. You know, was the False Prophet song the best approach? You know, there was a big debate about that. I'm not here to espouse my view on that. But my point is that whether right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent, we're all on this journey. We're trying to figure it out, dude. Like, we don't have all the answers, you know? So, for me, I recognize that, and I say to myself, you know what, man? At the end of the day, regardless of what our differences are, these dudes and these young women that are on the front line are my heroes. You feel me? Gospel gangsters, did we agree with the prosperity view? No. I mean, that as an emphasis? No. But did they put their footprints in the sand for Christian hip hop? And were they proclaimers of the gospel? Absolutely. So
absolutely.
What we disagreed on should not be enough to keep me from honoring them for what they've done. And that, to me, is the big picture. And that, to me, that's where I'm thinking, that's where my headspace is now as a leader in this genre.
Yeah, and that's, man. There's some other things I want. Man, that's so good. There's so much tension there, and I think growing up listening to you, because the third Christian hip hop album I ever bought was Moment of Truth, and so having such a huge impact on me, I've seen myself grow as well, and hearing you say that it's a process, it's a journey. Man, we really think, and this is not cliche, but we really believe y'all already have y'all positions locked down, just cemented. Like, everything you're gonna ever believe, you guys already have it together, and I think that's pretty unfair for us to assume. But anyways, that another time. I want to get to the most controversial song on the album, which is likely gonna be Bully, and you talked about it a little bit on your little video, your Hard Talks video, and I want to get both your thoughts and TJ. I want you to chime in as well on just the reaction that you gave the first time you heard it. So can you talk a little bit about Bully and about the difference between loving the sinner and loving the system? You talked a lot about that in your video.
Did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No. Part two. So TJ, just give your thoughts, man. What do you think about Bully the first time you heard it, man?
Bully, so I heard it way early on because I was the one who actually ended up mixing the majority of the album, so I heard it like months ago, and it just hit me as I was mixing it, I was just hearing everything with just perfect clarity, and I was like, whoa, like this song does not pull any punches at all, like it's heavy hitter, and he goes straight at the heart of the issue, and again, I think he did a really good job of emphasizing the whole. We don't hate the sinner, but we hate the system. Like, the system is whack, but there's still grace for the sinner, because who am I to judge another sinner? I have my own sin, I have my own issues and my own problems. So, that's a similar viewpoint that I share. Even growing up in secular culture, I've been brought into that kind of atmosphere where it's like,
All right, I'm back. I don't know what's going on.
Good.
I can't tell you what's going on with my internet, man. It's acting ridiculous.
It happens.
Yeah.
Good.
So I missed the last minute of what you said.
Man, we just want to get your thoughts. TJ was sharing his thoughts on Bully, man. I want to talk about this probably likely going to be the most controversial song on the album. You put out a little video about it, just kind of explaining the difference between loving the sinner and loving the system. And I've heard a lot of people now, man, it's funny, the church is really late. Like, you were talking a little bit about it in music, how we're kind of late with things that happen, but sometimes we tend to be a little late in how we address things that are coming. And certain leaders within our community have talked about, homosexual agenda or same-sex attraction. They've been talking about how it's going to rise up, and many of us looked at it as something that would never happen, and now it's here. Now you even reference Modern Family and our entertainment, everything. And so now that we're addressing this, you put out a song about it, which is brave considering the climate towards people who disagree with that lifestyle. So the thought process when you were doing that, was this something, hey man, this is just a hot button issue, this is something that we can't be silent on, or something you see in the church, or what were you seeing when you wrote the song?
Yeah, I think Bully and Great both have like a similar tone to them.
Yeah.
I was kind of addressing the same type of thing on Love, Hope, and War, on the war part of it. But I think that for me, this is about being aware of the times. You know, Jesus teaches us to be sober and to be alert. And, you know, I end up obviously in a lot of discussion surrounding these issues. But for me, it's not even so much about the homosexual agenda, so much as it is about what the system is imposing on us. So to me, everything from, you know, corporal discipline, and what that is, corporal discipline or corporal punishment, basically just means, physical. You know, anytime you apply physical, pressure, like if I pop my daughter on the leg, you can go to jail for that kind of stuff now, if you pop on the leg in the supermarket. But that to me is a direct affront towards God, because God has mandated that we discipline our children physically, that we spank their butts, according to Proverbs,
They won't die. They won't die.
Yeah, they won't die. Exactly. To submission. The girl from Full House now is under fire for going on national television, or in her book, talking about how she was submitted to her husband. And again, the world jumps all on top, jumps on that as if it's a curse word. So for me, it's not even just about the homosexual agenda or movement. It really is literally comprehensive for me. It's about what the system is imposing on us and kind of making, just heightening our awareness, our generation's awareness to what we're dealing with, because what we can end up doing, because for me it's about knowing how living in the tension, which is what my next album is going to be about. It's complicated, but it's about living in the tension, because everybody knows what's going on, but the question is, how do we deal with it? Now, one side of the camp says, let's love on them, let's go to the homosexual and let's, don't approach them from like as if you're looking down to them. Approach them as if you're underneath them. Approach them as if we need help. We need to be delivered. You know what I'm saying? That's one way to handle it. But that a lot of times is the more now becoming, because of the flack we're getting, that's becoming the dominant way, the only way that people feel like this should be dealt with, and the only way people are saying that we should feel about it. But for me, there's a flip side to it, and the other side of it is beyond the people, because there's the people. Beyond the people, there's this juggernaut of a system that is intent on, even to the point of social, and I believe what's going to lead to physical persecution. Where the Pierce Morgans of the world, and my whole thing is, we're not even allowed to express ourselves. Like, we're not even allowed to do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep saying you're tolerant. Like, you keep trying to impose tolerance, which is intolerant of you. So what I'm looking to address is really getting making sure we're right in the middle, both being the loving from approaching it from the equal, from a standpoint of I'm just like you, to I'm a sinner who needed to be saved just like you, to yours is homosexuality, mine's is lust or pride, but God sees them all the same. That's one side, but then I don't want us to forget the other side, which is there is a aspect of this that says we got to rise up, fight, turn. There's a time where Jesus offers himself as the living water, and then there's a time where Jesus turns over tables. And all I'm calling for in this is the believers who are willing to turn over tables in this in the society in which we live.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Man, that's good. That's good. We're going to get in some of these questions that you guys have left. Get your questions in. We have a few more minutes here. We don't want to keep them too long, so we got a few more minutes here. We're going to wind down, get into some of these questions. Somebody asked, man, and I guess this is apropos because you have so much to say. You going to write a book one day? Pull out the pen and publish?
Yeah, every week somebody tells me I need to write a book. Almost, and I'm not exaggerating. I'll leave it at that. That's where I'm at. I don't know. I don't know. That's what people keep telling me. I think it's a strong possibility that I write a book. Yeah.
Okay. Man, let's I always like to give homage and give props to the people who do what I do really well, man. So Steve Patton, he was tweeting me early. Shout out to Steve Patton, man. He wanted to be here, man. Yeah. And he said tell Truth that you gotta get DJ Official and JR lock y'all three y'all in a room and make the next album.
Absolutely.
Old school vibe, man. But who was on the album as far as production is concerned?
JR. Yeah, a lot of that was JR. Which you see he's evolved as well.
Yeah.
Yep, JR, and we had Joseph Love was on the record. Who else did we have on the record?
Corbet.
Corbet
was one of them.
Corbet was on the record. He did Welcome Home.
Okay.
Alex Medina is on the record. Who else, T.H.?
Did you just say Medina? Is that who you said?
I said Medina, yeah.
Medina. Who were the guys that did Change the World?
Oh, Justin Ebot. Yeah, he's a CCM dude. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. This is an interesting question. Somebody asked on the Rapzilla, Solomon, he asked on the Rapzilla story, why isn't abortion one of the main issues that is addressed by Christian artists? What are your thoughts on that?
It should be. No, again, I think, right now, as it stands, that's not the war. That's not the war that's in our face. So I think oftentimes Christian artists addressed what's right before them.
Right.
Not just Christian artists. That's what artists in general do. Even when you look at just the 70s, that era, a lot of the singer-songwriters in the 70s were fighting against something.
Yeah.
They were calling for peace and love, because it was coming out of the 60s. There was so much hostility, and racial inequality. So you had groups like the Beatles, and even Marvin Gaye. What's going on was about what was with the current climate. So I think a lot of times that's what artists naturally are going to address, what the challenges are within the current climate. And abortion right now is not that, but it does fit into that whole system thing that we've been talking about.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you. Man, what's another one? What's another good one? You ever gonna do a collab with Vashawn Mitchell? Somebody was asking you. They saw you were in the studio with Vashawn Mitchell. Is that gonna be something for the next album? Something for his album?
Yeah, that might be on the Heartbeat Deluxe.
Okay. Cool.
That's definitely
Awesome.
a homie. We definitely love working together.
Absolutely. Just a couple of more here. Explain the music video. Gray, explain it.
Gray is that video that's basically it's depicting a time where Christians are being kind of persecuted um, being for holding a standard. So you kind of see in the beginning, it kind of in the beginning the pretext, kind of shows us how all the truth bearers. If you read the pretext in the beginning, it talks about how the truth bearers are basically being locked down. And then throughout the video, you see me kind of in this hideaway spot, this hideaway spot, and even there, I get captured, again for being one of those truth bearers. Then going towards the end of the video, you see me like trying to, throughout the video, you see me like trying to get away from the people that want to keep me from bearing truth. And then by the end, you see a kind of escape, so I'm coming out of my straitjacket, you know what I'm saying? Because I get captured at some point, but then I get away. So I'm coming out of my straitjacket, and I think I'm free, which is why I'm rejoicing at the end, only to find out that, I look up and see they're still there. I'm still in trouble. So it's, it's kind of a metaphor for just the kind of the space I think that we're in right now. That Christians have to be really aware and beware. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I really do think this is the space we're in our society where it won't be long before this is the stuff that we have to prepare our hearts for. And it's not easy to, but we're already really under a lot of heavy persecution as Christians and conservatives. So it might come to this.
Yeah. Just a couple of more questions before we let you go. And I want to hear this from TJ as well. What's your writing process like, guys? Like, what is it? What is that? And truth, man, I mean, now that you have, like you were talking about, 8 to 10 hour, 12-hour days, long meetings, however, like, do you even have time to write? Like, do you set aside writing time, or is it something that just flows naturally out of you? I want both of you guys to talk about your writing process before we let you guys go.
You got to teach.
Okay. So for me, with this hook that I did for Standing O, Truth sent me the whole concept and everything. He laid it out before me and told me, he just wanted to pay homage to all the artists and stuff like that. So more or less, I just sat down and I thought about, okay, like, what do all these artists have in common to some extent? And they all represent their own city. Like, they're all from different cities, different areas of the world. And in those cities, they are shining lights that, shine in the midst of the darkness in their respective cities. And so that's why you got, you see the lights in the city, they make the night so pretty. With that sparkle in their eyes, we raise a toast to the sky. We're saluting them. And so that's really just the whole writing process for that one in particular. It was more or less just really zoning in on the context of the song and trying to find a way to not make it sound cheesy, where we're raising our glasses to you, we're toasting to you, but we're making sure that we proclaim that these people are lights in their cities and they bring hope and a message of hope and restoration to their respective cities. And so that's really what I want to hone in on with that hook. But for my own personal stuff, I really just try to draw off a personal experience. If I'm going to write a love song, I'm going to really just zone in on, anytime I've had, affections for a young lady or something like that, I would really just try to draw off that. And also, the greatest picture of love is obviously God's love for me. So I would look in Scripture for definitions of love and pictures of love where love was exemplified and modeled, and write based off of those things. But in general, I like to really write out in nature. I try to be outside when I write, just to feel, I don't know, it's just the fresh air kind of opens my mind up a little bit more, and being in front of God's nature, just, I don't know, it expands a lot more for me. It makes things a little bit more real and tangible and easier to process when it's just peace and quiet and I'm outside just chilling, sitting down, listening to the music in my headphones and writing to it. So that's really the process for me, just drawing off a personal experience and making it real for people that, that they could relate to it to some extent, whatever the topic is that I'm talking about in the song.
Yeah, and TJ, if I'm not mistaken, you were the one with the was it the Rising Sun song that had the fearful of faith, faithful to fear?
Yeah.
Online? That was nice, man. That was nice.
Thank
Respect. Truth, before we let you go?
I don't know. What's the question?
It's a hard question.
You got time to write these days, man?
I do, man. I have to make time to write. Do I have a choice? I don't have a choice, do I? I definitely. I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of things that inspire me. Everything T.H. said. I don't know if nature does so much, but being outside, definitely does it for me. I think that for me, I think some of my best writing and inspiration comes really just being in the hood.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like not I don't live in the hood, but I stay there. Like I actually love the smell of it. It's weird.
Wow.
Like I love like the just watching people, learning, observing. You know what I mean? That's how I grew up too. So it ain't like I'm watching people I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But something
Right,
about
right.
like being in the inner city. That's the more politically correct term. Being in the inner city really just gives me a lot of inspiration. And then obviously outside of that, life experience and whatever else. In terms of time, you know, like for Mixed Bag, I had to take a couple weeks, to solely focus on the record. Just kind of leave my other business partners in charge, to really focus to kind of hone in on what I needed to do for the album. So
That's good. That's good. So, there's something we've been wanting to do with you. We want to give you the opportunity to give one word. I'm gonna throw out some topics. You're gonna give one word description of the topic, just whatever is the first thing that comes to your mind. I'm not gonna trap you. I promise. I'm not gonna trap you. But just
all
the
right,
first thing that comes to your mind. All right.
all right.
CHH.
CHH growing
BET.
black.
Jay-Z.
Pioneer.
Yeah, I would say innovative.
Yeah. President
Uh
Obama.
oh.
I'm
Huh?
sorry, TJ. You can hop in.
Oh no.
Truth.
Say it again.
President Obama.
Are you talking to
Um,
me? My bad. I'm so confused. Who are you talking to?
no,
Truth?
it's for me, right?
Okay, yeah,
It's for me,
true.
right? All right. President Obama, I would have to say revolutionary.
Resurrection Day.
Easter.
All right,
You
this is
said the
for both of
first
you
thing.
guys. To close it out. So both of you guys to close it out. Mixed bag.
Diversity.
I was to say diverse. You stole mine.
We're all on the
Uh,
same wavelength, man.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be the main thing. I would say diverse, definitely. Creative. No limits, but that's 2 words.
That's good. We'll take it. We'll take it. Well, if you guys have been tuning in, we've been chilling with the big homie, The Truth, as well as TJ Pompeo, mixed bag artist. We talking about The Truth's new album that just came out today, doing really well on the charts. It's called Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
Truth, where can they follow you? Where can they just keep up with you as far as the statuses, the tweets?
Yep. At Truth on Duty. That's my Twitter. You can also follow like my Facebook is The Truth, T.R.U.T.H. Instagram the same, Truth on Duty for Instagram. Mixed Bag for Mixed Bag, follow us at Mixed, that's MIXED Bag ENT. So Mixed Bag ENT at Mixed Bag ENT. Follow us there. So I must warn you, for the next 2 weeks, everything that comes from that account is going to be about Heartbeat. So you have to make your
Get ready.
choice.
Get
Make your choice about what you want to follow now.
That's so funny.
TJ, where can they follow you?
On Twitter and Instagram, it's both the same. It's at TJ Pompeo. It's POMPEO. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/TJ Pompeo Music. And if you want to download a bunch of my free music that I've released over the past year or two, you just go to tjpompeo.bandcamp.com. It's all there.
Awesome. Well, Truth, and TJ, thank you guys for spending so much time with us.
Sure.
We really appreciate it. Go out and get that Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
At any of the stores, iTunes, Amazon as well. And as Truth said earlier, support the Christian bookstores, giving us a service as well. So thank you guys for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Bless you, bro.
Later.
All right, guys. We'll
Peace.
see you. Peace.
Peace.